Okay, well, apparently the halftime show was pretty entertaining to people. I didn't check it out. There's a big uproar about it. Um, I guess related to Trump's comments, and it's like a political thing about the halftime show again.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know how the Super Bowl became political. I guess it was around 2016 when Kaepernick took a kneel, and then Trump,
What year?
was it 2016 or 2015 when Kaepernick kneeled? Or when was that?
Did he kneel that he
2018.
kneeled at the Super Bowl?
No, 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 no. But after the kneeling, the NFL became political because it was like you had to, as a fan, you had to decide whether or
Yeah,
not you
yeah. So
supported
you
the
support?
kneeling,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the kneeling is political, and then the
I thought you were
president.
about to say Beyonce.
Bro, I don't know.
Because Beyonce's performance was kind of like, when she was at Formation or something.
Probably so.
I think
Yeah.
that was when you could say it was,
Look, man, I'm not a fan of everything.
2016. Yeah, Beyonce did Formation at 2016. Real black. Was very black.
And that's cool. I'm not really a fan of everything becoming a political decision. Like it does. Like, dude, if you like Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl, that doesn't mean you're a liberal. If you didn't like it, it doesn't mean you're a Republican. It just doesn't mean that.
That's true.
And this conversation has started to be like, are you racist if you didn't enjoy the performance? Which I get, because last year, if you didn't enjoy the Kendrick Lamar performance, you were clearly a racist. And it's just maybe you don't enjoy that style of music, or maybe you just actually didn't enjoy the performance, even though you do enjoy that style of music. Who knows? I saw the performance, or I saw parts of the performance. It was very similar to Kendrick's performance to me, like very political in messaging. We have the sugar canes of Puerto Rico. We have the street lights, because Puerto Rican street light power lines go down often. So you got the guys always in the power lines in Puerto Rico. We have him handing a Grammy to a young Hispanic kid. Um, to, to represent that a Hispanic kid having an opportunity in the world. Um, we had some gay dudes. Like, do you see the gay dudes grinding on each other?
See, again, I was not really. That's why at the beginning of the show when you said Bad Bunny, I was like, oh shit, I forgot to go back and watch the performance. Because when it was on, like, it was watching me. I wasn't watching it. It was kind of just like, so I don't have a full assessment on the actual performance itself. So what I can respond to is the backlash and the reaction from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go ahead real quick.
Yeah, like I think it's odd that people are so upset about the show. It's odd. It's more odd that black people are upset about this.
And when you say upset, what do you mean? Like, did you see some black people like upset for real, or did you see some black people that said that they didn't enjoy the show? Which one did you see? I didn't see any upset, angry people or anything like that.
Well, let me clarify. So, I could understand people if people did not enjoy the show. That's fine. I guess let me use a different choice of words.
Yeah, it's a question,
The intolerance. To see people be kind of intolerant as it relates to the show is kind of weird to me, because because it was in a language that you didn't understand. It to me is cultural. Like you're lacking just cultural sensitivity. Or
walk us down the fine line that you're pointing at. Okay, so you saw some intolerant people, and you also saw some people that just didn't enjoy the performance.
Correct.
Tell me what the intolerant people did.
What the intolerant people what?
Yeah, what they did to like denote their intolerance as opposed to their lack of enjoyment.
Yeah, just so. Oh, that's a good question.
It's a very good question, because I didn't see any intolerance actually. I saw lack of enjoyment. Which you've already admitted you didn't enjoy. I think either. So
Well, I can't. I didn't really watch it to enjoy it. I can't really sit
If there was a bitch twerking in front of your face, would you have pulled your head up real quick?
in my face, like in my actual on the TV.
Would you have done this and indicated enjoyment with your actual actions and intentions? Because I think if something is on in front of you and you're not watching it, that means you didn't enjoy it. If I put my works on in front of you and I watched to see if you were watching it, I would assume you didn't enjoy it.
That's a reasonable assumption.
So again, the intolerance. What is the intolerance? Because I want you find folks who really explore these concepts of correctness politically to break them down for everybody else.
Yeah, so okay, if you in your travels, right, you go to Spanish speaking countries, as
what did somebody do that you figured was intolerant in reaction to the Super Bowl? Like the intolerant blacks.
Suggest that he shouldn't have been performing there. That the language barrier was that it should have been in English, right? So that to me is like really like you can't for 13 minutes, however long the show was, be immersed in another culture whatsoever. Like
you couldn't be. So so you heard somebody like protesting against it? You heard some black people like, yo, don't ever do this again. Take this off. Don't let these Mexicans run it. Like, what was the intolerance, bro? As opposed to the lack of enjoyment. Because intolerance is a real thing. And lack of enjoyment is a real thing. And voicing your lack of enjoyment is not intolerance.
That's a fact.
So that's where I'm curious as to where did people go too far?
Okay. I could be conflating audiences and sentiment. So the first response I saw was from whites, right? Conservative whites saying this is anti-American. You know, he's a fake American, but he's anti-America.
Jake Paul.
Right.
Donald Trump, yeah.
And then I did see black people that just early did not enjoy it. Mm-hmm. One of their reasonings for not enjoying it was not being able to understand what he was saying.
Which makes sense, right?
Which makes sense, but I look at that. I look at that as somehow being intolerable.
So let me say. So this is interesting to me. I went to listen to the Bad Bunny album after the Grammys, right? Mm-hmm. When I went to listen to it to showcase tolerance, my response was, I can't get invested in this because I can't understand it, right? Through my actions, somehow I showcase more intolerance than you, a person who did not go listen to it. So you didn't have anything to say. How does that make sense?
So I lost you. So you said you
went
and listened to the album after the Grammys, and you couldn't get into it. I did not listen to the album.
And I walked away with an assessment that I can't get into this because I can't understand it. Mm-hmm. You did not listen to the album.
Right.
Which one showcases more intolerance? The person who tries to experience it but walks away with an assessment that this isn't for me and voices that, or the person who never even approaches it?
So no, in that scenario, you showcase more tolerance or willingness to tolerate. I just showed disinterest. Okay. So not intolerance though.
As did I, and as did all of these other people. They showcase disinterest. Active disinterest, not passive disinterest. We can really use words to denote everything we say. So you showcase passive disinterest, I showcase active disinterest, and because of that, I'm a hater or a bigot or an intolerant human. When in the reality, I'm simply expressing the same thing that you would express if you were speaking.
Or if I actually took the time to sit there and watch it and have a formal opinion on it.
Which is part of speaking, gathering knowledge. Yeah. And so, again, I think that we put ourselves in a bad position when we just adopt the overall thought process of the zeitgeist. If we hear the group saying, yo, them people showcased intolerance without actually poking it and prodding it to see, do we agree with this? We just start to look at intolerance as anything that the group said is.
Okay, if there are a group of if there is a group of people that are saying, hey, this is the Super Bowl, this is America, why is he up there? I can't understand him. Why is this in Spanish? That is a form of intolerance, right?
No.
Okay.
A form of intolerance is we don't let people do this, but simply because. If you don't have an explanation, then I would imagine you might be
That's
intolerant.
like saying, okay, I don't want these black people reading books because
we want to subject, like, again, if you finish the statement, you'll showcase your intolerance because we want to subject them to our control. That's the only way to finish that statement.
Okay.
Or if you finish the statement, we don't want black people reading these books because these books are filled with lies and none of us read them. Is that intolerance or is that an explanation? I don't want them reading those books because they're filled with lies and we already know not to read them. Is that intolerance?
Did you say, or is that an explanation? I don't want them to read these books because there's lies in it. And
yeah,
there's lies in them.
We can finish it with that. Is it intolerance?
No.
That's not intolerance.
In that instance, no.
So preventing people is not simply intolerance. And I'll take you to this guy because it'll come across better with him. And then we kind of stop there because we've done both sides, showcased it.
I'm Latino, and this is my opinion on Bad Bunny's Super Bowl show. I want to divide it between the performance and the meaning of the show. Like, performance-wise, visually, insane, the stage, the production, everything, the music, as a show, impressive, I love it. But, being honest, as a Latino, I felt a little off with what it means. Because, and it's not because Bad Bunny doesn't deserve it, not because Latino culture doesn't matter, but because I'm Latino, I lived in Nebraska, I went to college in Nebraska, I went studying in New York, and I had really close friends of America. I created a super special connection with the culture of America, and I feel that the Super Bowl is the core of the American culture. And this is where the conversation gets tricky, because they say the message was beautiful, love is stronger than hate. Of course it is. But I feel like nowadays we are taking everything to the moral argument instead of the logical one. As if questioning something automatically means hate. As if not including something everywhere means explosion or hate. And that's not always true, because then I ask this: how will I feel if the opening game of the Copa America was a country music concert? Not bad music, I love country, but it's just out of place, bro. And that wouldn't be hate, that would be cultural logic, bro. And yeah, this isn't Bad Bunny's fault. If I get invited, if I'm Bad Bunny and I get invited, I'm going to and I'm performing. This was such an NFL mistake. As a migrant, this just reinforces something I've learned. Integration isn't about imposing culture. It's about respecting context and knowing when something fits and when it doesn't. The show was powerful to both sides, and that conversation around it matters.
Integration is not about imposing. So, gang, do you disagree with him if Kid Rock was performing at the opening ceremony of the Copa? It might be a little out of place.
Yes. Oh, do I agree with it? I agree with that statement.
Okay. And so here, the thing that's going on with America is because we were founded as a country with, I guess, no culture, we still operate as a country with no culture. So if you were to go to Mexico and they will require you to speak Spanish, nobody would say, this is bigoted, this is racist. They would say this is logical. This is based in organization. So again, I think as a people we need to get to the place where we don't fall into the trap that we set for everybody else. We have to automatically at this point include everybody because that's been our main weapon of attack. We're not included. Our weapon of attack hasn't been we're deserving of merit. It's been, for the most part, is there are none of us involved. And so I think we see what that will get us. I don't think we see where it'll get us yet. But moving forward, I hope that we start to understand this thing that we're doing, like we demonize people who share different opinions or don't include us in their team right away. You really will have to start your own team. That's really the only answer. And so I don't think it was intolerance for people who didn't enjoy the performance. I don't think you were intolerant by not looking at the performance. I think there's somebody who said, put your eyes on this. Make sure you watch it and understand they're more so displaying intolerance. So.
Well, the last thing I'll say, so he said that it was from a performance standpoint, it was a good performance. This is what the guy said. Production wise, the dancing, all of these things, right?
That's super subjective, yeah.
And it was it was one of the most watched Super Bowl performances in history behind Kendrick and Michael Jackson. The NFL is a global organization, right? And they have initiatives in Africa. They've had several games in London, right? They've had games across overseas.
Yeah.
They want a global audience. Bad Bunny is a global superstar. It makes sense business-wise. When Shakira and Bad Bunny and J-Lo performed at the Super Bowl 26 years ago, nobody had an issue. Now,
I don't think anybody has an issue, bro.
People haven't. You don't think
people
anybody has an issue?
Just saying, I haven't seen anybody with an issue. I've seen only
Logan Paul,
Jake Paul,
Jake had Logan. It was Logan. Jake said, I love my brother, but I disagree with him.
Logan said, I love my brother. Jake Paul is the one.
Oh, damn. Oh, my bad. You're right.
Jake is the one that lives in Puerto Rico. And so Jake Paul has a political disagreement with Bad Bunny himself, which I don't follow.
So, but there were other people on the internet that shared the same sentiment.
I'm really only talking about black people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I think if you're gonna, if you can visit Spanish-speaking countries on vacation and immerse yourself in those cultures, go to Colombia, DR, etc., Puerto Rico, etc., that's not a country, but then for 13 minutes on your television, that's something that you can withstand, and you can choose to not enjoy it and express that.
I don't think that I've heard anybody make the argument that you're making, bro. I didn't hear anybody say, I can't take this. I don't know how this is happening. I just simply heard people saying, yo, this ain't for me. Yeah. Grandma sat there saying, what is this? What is going on? I don't know. Other than that, I didn't see anybody actually showcasing intolerance. Latino lives don't matter. This music doesn't have a place in America. How dare they?
The guy kind of was like, well, this is the center of American culture, so it's off-brand for them to have a Latin artist.
But you're going to like a tangent of what actually was stated. The only things that were stated that you can speak to, again, I've asked you for the intolerance. You're not really displaying the intolerance of black people here. You're displaying the disinterest, including your own. And I'm really just trying to show to you that you are arguing against yourself. Like, you showcase intolerance, apparently, bro.
I wouldn't say that.
And then you haven't seen anybody who's actually showcased it then. If you didn't showcase
No, I did. I said I viewed the
that's
sentiment,
what I'm saying.
the sentiment
what did they say?
I saw to be intolerant, and I said, well, that's intolerant, isn't it? And you said, no, that's not. So we just disagree on what would be deemed to be intolerant. To state that he shouldn't have been there as a result of the language that he was speaking or what the performance represented.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
It comes across as intolerant to me, but you know,
hey, man.
that's where we get. That's where we get.
If somebody comes to your house and you say, "Yo, can you speak English here?" Are you being intolerant?
His house and his I don't think that's an accurate comparison, but
okay.
You know, shout out to Bad Bunny.
Shout out to Bad Bunny. Shout out to you. They're gonna agree with you. I guess you gotta go soon, so we gotta get into the J. Cole.